On Tuesday, President Donald Trump offered to help Israel ethnically cleanse Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
How many people are you thinking about?
All of them. I mean, we're talking about probably 1,000,007 people, 1,000,007, maybe 1,000,008. But I think all of them. I think they'll be resettled in areas where they can live a beautiful life and not be worried about dying every day. I don't see it happening. It's too dangerous for people. Nobody can go there. It's too dangerous. Nobody wants to be there. Warriors don't want to be there. Soldiers don't want to be there. How can you have people go back? You're saying go back into Gaza now? The same thing's going to happen. It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. If we can build something for them in one of the countries, and it could be Jordan, it could be Egypt, it could be other countries, and you could build 4 or 5 or 6 areas. It doesn't have to be one area, but you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die, because Gaza is a guarantee that they're going to end up dying. The same thing's going to happen again. It's happened over and over again, and it's going to happen again as sure as you're standing there, Peter. So I hope that we could do something where they wouldn't want to go back. Who would want to go back?
Who would want to go back? I don't know, the people who call that place their home. I mean, imagine if somebody, and I hope this doesn't happen, right? But imagine if somebody like obliterated Florida, right? Or Miami, right? Or like Mar-a-Lago, okay? I'm pretty sure people who live there would want to come back and rebuild. I mean, it's not like they haven't been hit by hurricanes, okay? So many houses are just absolutely destroyed, obliterated. And they got to come back and they got to rebuild. And it's really difficult and it takes a lot of time, a lot of money. But they still come back. You know why? Because it's their homes. It's where they live. It's where they have created a life. Okay? Same thing for the Palestinians that were there. That's their home. It's where they created a life. Okay? Look, what he's talking about is nothing more than ethnic cleansing. Okay? And he said, we're going to take it over, which, you know what that means? We would be sending the military. Now, Trump's, the White House is like, oh, no, we're not going to consider sending the military. Then who are you going to send to disarm the weapons, to clean up the place? You'd be sending the military. There would be boots on the ground. Okay, that's who does that. And so, yes, if he went through with this plan, which is, ridiculous, bonkers, he would be sending our military into a foreign country. Okay, and I'm pretty sure they don't want us there. That said, how is this America first? No, this is Israel first. That's what it is. And by the way, you remember when he tried to do the funding freeze for the federal government and for foreign aid? The only thing that was not frozen was aid to Israel. Israel first. So that's who Trump is, right? And now that said, I'm not gonna avoid blaming Joe Biden as well. He was one of the people who helped turn Gaza into this hellhole. And of course, it's the right-wing Israeli government. You also had Hamas that had a role in this as well. Benjamin Netanyahu, obviously, President Biden, etc., along with the Democrats who kept voting to send Israel more and more weapons, which they were more than happy to use. So there's a lot of blame to be, spread around here, right? I think that Biden opened the door for Donald Trump, and Trump was able to run right through it and say, yes, I will help you with that ethnic cleansing. This is something that we were warning would happen if we didn't put some sort of limit on Israel, some sort of red line where say we're going to completely pull our support unless you start taking peace seriously. All right? He didn't do that. Now, Joe Biden was terrible on this issue. Donald Trump, slightly worse. Slightly worse. Okay? There were no good options here. Okay? But it's not like we didn't see this coming from Trump. It's not like he hadn't talked about it already. It's not like people around him didn't talk about it. Jared Kushner, for example, Trump's former director of Middle East policy, had said last year that Gaza could be very valuable waterfront property if developed. You know, but of course, in order to develop it, we got to get all the Gazans out, all the Palestinians out. And there was obviously no, plan to bring them back in. I mean, really? I mean, you think that they would be allowed to come back in? Maybe the wealthy ones. Oh, right. I don't think there are any wealthy Palestinians that were living in Gaza. Okay, because that place had been very, very tightly controlled by Israel, and so I don't think you would have very many wealthy Palestinians, especially ones who could afford to move back into this beautiful waterfront area resort that Trump and Kushner want to build, which would likely be annexed by Israel anyway. So, I mean, come on. Now, that said, his plan to remove millions of Palestinians from the area, possibly, again, using our military to do so, is facing pushback from Jordan and Egypt. Officials from both countries had already put out statements, this is from Jordan last week, that said that the country is committed to ensuring that Palestinians remain on their land. Our refusal of displacement is a steadfast position that will not change. Jordan is for Jordanians and Palestine is for Palestinians. That is Ayman Safadi, Jordanian Minister of Foreign Affairs. And here is Egypt's Foreign Affairs Office issuing their own statement saying that we reject the displacement of Palestinians from their land through forced eviction, which is ethnic cleansing. Such actions threaten stability, risk extending the conflict further in the region, and undermine opportunities for peace and coexistence. Okay, Israel and Jordan, we already kind of figured where they were going to be on this issue, but this next one is, well, it's going to hurt. Okay, Saudi Arabia, Trump's homeboys, okay, the Mohammed bin Bone Salman, okay, his government, Saudi Arabia, was like, no. They reject any attempts to displace Palestinians from their land, according to the Saudi Foreign Ministry. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia emphasizes that this unwavering position is non-negotiable and not subject to compromise. Achieving lasting and just peace is impossible without the Palestinian people obtaining their legitimate rights in accordance with international resolutions, as has been previously clarified to both the former and current U.S. administrations. So, yeah, Trump got a lot of money from the Saudis. Kushner got $2 billion from the Saudis. So, of course, their input is going to be very, very important on the president. Okay, the current president. So, yeah. But they're not the only one that, is poo-pooing Trump's plan. Okay? You've even got people over on Fox News saying, guys, I don't know if this is the greatest idea.
The president knows when he says, we'll take Gaza. He knows the United States can't invade another country. The last thing he wants to do is put boots on the ground in Gaza. I mean, he is always, in his first term, he was talking about he would like to get out of every war in the Middle East. I think what he did yesterday I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt. I think what he did by saying, look, if we take over and we redevelop it, I think that's the first step in a negotiation.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the first step, but, it's still probably not a good idea. I love how he twists himself into that pretzel so that he can both praise Trump for being, super genius, right? Great negotiator, and also not support the forcible military removal of Palestinians so that Trump and Kushner could turn Gaza into a second Mar-a-Lago. Okay? He knows. You can't just invade another country. Really? I mean, Iraq and Afghanistan would love to have a word with you. Just saying. But again, Donald Trump very, very clearly not doing America first. He is doing Israel first. All right, like pretty much every other U.S. president, yet somehow worse. And that's where we're at. This is clearly wrong. It's clearly ethnic cleansing, the forced removal of millions of people from their homeland with nowhere for them to go. Also, that wealthy developers can potentially make billions of dollars off of this development, and so that Israel could come in and eventually annex that area to increase their borders. It is absolutely grotesque and definitely not America first. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.